Ever wonder what's actually going on behind the scenes of the apps you use every single day? Well, today we're going to pop the hood on that whole process. We're going to take a look at a classic party game and break down its digital DNA piece by piece.
You've probably seen this at a Super Bowl party, right? The classic squares pool. Everybody throws in a few bucks, you scribble your initials on some squares, and then you just hope the score lands on your numbers. It's a total game day ritual.
Exactly. On paper, it's dead simple. But what does it take to turn that simple grid into a full-blown web app? One that thousands of people could use all at once? Well, that's where the real magic happens. And that's what we're going to unravel.
So, where does the code for something like this even live? What are the digital tools and materials a developer uses to build it? And how do they go from just an idea to something you can actually click on and interact with? Let's get into it.
Okay, our journey starts at a place called GitHub. This is where the project's source code, its entire set of instructions, is kept and shared with literally the entire world.
The easiest way to think about GitHub is like the world's biggest public library. But instead of books on the shelves, it's packed with the source code from millions and millions of software projects. It is the ultimate spot for developers to work together and share what they've built.
And this is the specific book we're checking out today. The project is called, simply enough, Superbowl Pool Game, and it was made by a user named oauth in a lab. Everything we're about to look at is right there, totally public, in their repository.
So what is this app actually made of? Just like a house needs wood and bricks and concrete, a web app has its own set of building materials. In the tech world, we call this the technology stack.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this breakdown. Almost 85% of this project is written in something called TypeScript. So think of JavaScript as this kind of wild, creative language that makes websites interactive. TypeScript is like its more organized, careful sibling. It helps developers catch mistakes before they happen. And that little slice of CSS, that's the fun part. It's the paint, the furniture, the style. It controls all the colors, the fonts, and the layout of that game grid.
The whole app is built on a foundation called Next.js. A framework like this is kind of like getting a pre-built frame for a house. It gives developers a really solid structure and all the basic tools they need so they can just focus on building the cool, unique features instead of starting from scratch. The source code even says the project was bootstrapped with it, which just means they used a starter kit to get up and running super fast.
Okay, so you've built your app, but how do you get it off your computer and onto the actual internet for everyone to see? That's where a platform like Vercel comes in. Its job is to take your code and deploy it, which is just the fancy word for publishing it online. And because it's made by the same folks who made Next.js, the whole process is incredibly smooth. One of the best things about open source projects on GitHub is that they almost always come with an instruction manual. It's usually a file called the README, and it tells other developers exactly how to get the project running on their own machines.
And this just shows you how simple it can be. This one single line of code, npm run dev, that's the magic command. You type that into your computer's terminal, hit enter, and boom, it fires up a local web server, bringing the app to life right there on your own computer.
So really, the whole process boils down to just 4 basic steps. First, you download all the code. Second, you install what are called dependencies. Just think of them as the list of ingredients in a recipe that the project needs to work. Third, you run that magic command we just saw. And finally, you just open up your web browser to see the app in action.
And this is the address you'd go to. Localhost literally just means this computer. It's running locally, completely separate from the public internet. It's like a private sandbox where a developer can play around, break stuff, and fix it, all without anyone else in the world seeing it.
All right, so we've looked at the code, the tools, the instructions, but why does a small project like a Super Bowl pool game really matter in the grand scheme of things? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture.
This little game is so much more than just a game. It's a perfect example of what modern software development looks like. It shows us that these powerful tools like Next.js are more accessible than ever before. It's a shining example of that open source spirit of sharing what you know. And honestly, it's just a powerful reminder that even the most complicated looking apps are really just a bunch of simple ideas pieced together in a clever way.
And that's really the journey we've just followed. Something that started as a fun little game on a piece of paper has become a living, breathing project on the internet that anyone, anywhere in the world can download, learn from, and even help improve.
So, I guess I'll just leave you with this thought.
This whole project started with a super simple idea for a party game. It kind of makes you wonder, what's a simple idea that's rattling around in your head? Because with the tools that are out there today, there has never been a better time to build it and share it with the world.